Many people in the Dokkan community are cursed with the ability to make poor or even mind-bogglingly stupid takes. There are a select handful that stand out in the Dokkan Twitter community as being the most contentious among the many. These select few men may be known as the Truth, DT, Vector, and Zed. But one man in particular, AlanDokkan, may be seen as even more divisive and unhinged than the others. Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of Dokkan Digest, where I take all the news, fun, and drama from Dokkan Twitter and I bring it over here to YouTube. Today we have a very special person to be talking about, somebody who is super infamous in the Twitter community space. And that man, if you couldn't already tell from the intro, is AlanDokkan, one of the craziest, most unhinged characters I've ever seen in the Dokkan community. And it's just nuts. I asked you guys for some screenshots of Alan's most controversial or sometimes even funny takes, and I got a lot back from you. Almost 50,000 people saw the tweet, and a lot of you helped provide the information I needed to make this video. So to those guys, I really appreciate you. You guys mean the world to me. But anyway, we're going to be talking about some of those tweets today, and we're even going to have a one-on-one interview with Dokkan Alan himself, you know, talking about a lot of his experience in the Dokkan community, hopefully. And even some fun little questions as well regarding the tweets and like how he feels being in the truth videos and etc, etc, etc. So if you're interested in that, stay until the end of the video. Like and subscribe if you want more content like this. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys when I see you. So I was never really familiar with Alan like that. I knew that The Truth had made videos on him because I would watch a lot of his grading Dokkan hot takes videos, right? I would watch a lot of those. So that's where I kind of found out about Alan's existence. And then all of a sudden, a lot of the people that I followed, like Thad and everybody else in The Truth, I would see him commenting underneath, but I never knew it extended as far as it did, right? This man Alan is a complete and utter lunatic, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. This guy is funny as hell. I have seen all of his tweets, or most of the tweets that I think are like some of the most Alan moment tweets of all time. He's become pretty infamous for like really being a hybrid Sans lover. He's a LR Ultimate Gohan defender. He will defend that guy to the ground, and it gets to the point where he's pretty much memed on in the community for it. And I love it. I think it's funny, and a lot of the people in this inner circle of Twitter, Dokkan Twitter, it's a hilarious dynamic in the Dokkan community. You can kind of tell that he's genuine with a lot of the opinions he has, some of which have been recorded and like memed on extensively to the point where people are making graphics about this guy and quotes that he's had. It's the funniest thing in the world. And now that Alan's presence has made itself known to me, I can't unsee it. Every time I go to The Truth post or I see a Minato tweet, underneath is Alan posting the most vile, out of pocket, and crazy shit I have ever seen. When you're in a comment section with Alan in it, you're not watching a friendly discussion. You're watching a murder take place. Alan does not play fair. He doesn't play by the rules. This guy is so unhinged and out of pocket. It's crazy. He will just straight up tell you. So I guess my final thoughts on Alan would be, he has a lot of takes that most people probably disagree with, especially the Hybrid Sam one. I'm gonna just be real, Alan. If you're watching this, man, it's not 2019 anymore, man. Hybrids are not that good, okay? You gotta chill out on that. But I will say that, like, he's a funny guy, and I think a lot of the stuff he gets from the APT crowd and stuff like that is a little unwarranted, right? Just like everybody who plays the game, I think we're all just trying to have fun, and Alan is one of the funniest people I've seen on Twitter so far. So, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to be wondering, why is the video called The Unhinged Mind of AlanDokkan, and I'm being so favorable to him? And that's the thing is, it's like, yes, the man is crazy. He goes a little too hard in the comment section of Twitter posts, but I think that, like, overall, what Alan is doing is no different from what any other, you know, Dokkan Twitter user is doing, right? They're all trying to push an agenda in some sort. The thing I do like about Alan, though, is, and we've actually talked. He's gotten into like looking at average APTs and stuff like that recently and calculating and stuff like that, and he seems like really passionate about it, right? From what I can tell behind the scenes. Now, I'm not here to speak for him, okay? but he does seem like he's a passionate part of the community, and that is super important for a community like Dokkan. And I love seeing that, and you know, I honestly have no disdain for it. I think it's perfect. I think it's an amazing thing to have in a community like this, and on top of being funny and entertaining, right? That's best of both worlds. Whether or not Alan is wrong, that's not really up to me to decide. I feel like I know a lot about the game, but not to the point of like being able to calculate numbers when it comes to this game. I'm not there yet, but yeah, from what I can tell, Alan seems like a very genuine, passionate person in the community, and I think that's super important and something to, you know, be happy about. So be happy that there are people like this in our community. He's been unhinged when it comes to the comment sections, right? But that's just entertainment, baby. That's what it is. That's what it means to be fun. Enough blabbering from me, though. I want to be able to give Alan a chance in this one-on-one interview to give more perspective in on him and like his thought process when it comes to building units. And we also have comments from you guys and questions from you guys from my Twitter post that I made the other day, asking you guys for some questions that you'd like to hear from Alan. So those will also be in this video. So if you guys are interested in that, stay until the end of the interview. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. All right, guys, so this is the Alan interview. I have Alan with me, very important figure, very infamous in the Dokkan community. I have a couple questions I want to ask him, 9 specifically. Some questions coming from me, some questions coming from you. Alan, do you want to, you know, let the community hear your beautiful voice, dude?
Yo.
AlanDokkan, oh my goodness. The AlanDokkan. I hope you guys are all clapping. So the community doesn't really know what you sound like, right?
I think some people do. But
oh, some.
It's a mixed bag. I did do one video with my voice at one point, but that was a long time ago.
Really? Okay. Wait. You're on your YouTube? Do you have another YouTube channel?
Yeah. No, what did I do? I think it was a no item run of like Bojack or something back in the day.
Oh my god.
When the stage first came out, and it was an unlisted video. I probably still have it on my YouTube, but
oh, okay.
Very long time ago.
So I have like 9 questions I want to ask you today. Some of them revolving around like, you know, some of them from the community. Some are questions that I'm just curious about, like, you know, who is Alan as a person specifically, and then also your opinions on, like, you know, Hybrid Sands and Beast Gone and stuff like that. Before we start, I just want to know, do you have any, like, anything you want the community to know about you, like anything specifically?
Nah.
No? Okay. Even like as a Dokkan player, like what would you like to really drive home to the community?
I don't think there's anything specifically. I think I'm clashing heads a lot with people in the community at the moment. I don't dislike anyone. I just want to point that out. Like when I'm on Twitter, I aim to be as cold as possible because I want to create good environments for discussion. And I think a lot of people kind of misinterpret that as being condescending, or you know, just being a dick. I don't mean to be a dick, and if I seem like a dick, that's like, you know, just disregard that. I'm not trying to do that, but that's really cool. I've always gotten the impression that you're just trying to come off as like funny, you know, come off, like, make your points and then be funny at the same time. Okay, that's good. It's half and half. I don't know.
I don't think it would be weird if people got the impression of like you trying to be a bad guy, trying to be a mean person.
You'd be surprised, bro. I think most people don't like me in the community.
Really? Just like,
yeah. Okay,
whatever. That's so crazy. I've never gotten that impression off of you from the interactions we've had, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first question, okay? What the fuck is up with the treehouse questions? Like what? Like I made that post on Twitter. We had a bunch of people asking you like why you hate treehouses so much. So can you just explain to me?
Treehouses?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Someone said that you hate treehouses on Twitter. I made that.
I've never heard that in my life. What?
Really?
Hold on, let me go on. I'll go on Twitter and I'll try and.
Okay.
Treehouses.
I've
never heard of them.
Oh yeah, I've gotten like I think 2 or 3 people asking me like why you hate treehouses.
Oh, was that for when you did the tweet asking what questions? I think that was just a joke from people, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well I figured it was a joke, but I didn't know if it was like a joke that you were making or if it was like a
Let me get
just them being stupid.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
No one's ever said anything about that to me. But
okay, because I didn't want to ask you why you hate treehouses, you know, right off the rip. I wanted to know why the fuck are people asking you this? Like, what is going on with that? Okay.
No, I have no idea.
Well, if it's a joke tweet, I got debated. I got, you know, Good question for the first question for the interview. Really driving it home here. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to the second one. What the hell were you banned for on Twitter? What happened?
Oh, so hold on. I posted. I made a joke to Deku.
Okay.
What did I say? I said, "I'll do this to you in real life," and it was a picture, like a GIF of Jiren beating the shit out of Goku. I'll probably get it up. Hold on. And it was like obviously a joke.
Right.
And I appealed to Twitter, and they basically said, "Nah, you deserve to be banned." And I was like, "Yeah, you broke TOS, bro."
I feel like haven't you done like way crazier shit than that though?
Oh,
oh
yeah.
maybe
No,
I guess it
definitely
was.
wasn't.
You've definitely said some crazier shit than that on Twitter. From
Yeah.
the tweets I've had. So what? Did people like flag your? Did people flag you or something? Report?
Yeah, they mass reported me. I'd probably get mass reported on most of my tweets, bro. Right. I would not be surprised. I've got a lot of people that don't like me in the community, so I think.
Do you want to dive deep into that? Why don't people like you?
Why don't people like me? Because I have very controversial opinions. Most of the time. So I'll give you an example. The most recent one is probably the Blue Fusions. I kind of just like all I did was state the math. Like they don't do good damage outside of their fully built or active turns, and you only really either see the fully built or the active turn, and that's below 50% HP anyway. Like that's turn 6-7 minimum for that turn. Every other turn is kind of like meh. It's not good damage. Their base is shit damage.
Do you want to describe what good damage is to you? Like what?
So the Blue the Blue Fusions, in their first turn in blue are going to be doing like around, I want to say 25-ish million. Like this is just off the dome, so it might be like slightly wrong, but around, I think I know Goji Blue's around 25 million below 24 key, and like bear in mind to get 24 key is pretty hard. It's 8 orbs with Vegeta Blue, 13 when you don't have the fusion links up, and then with 24 key I think it's around 35 to 40 million. It kind of depends on what stacks you get, but it's around the 35 to 40 million range, which isn't bad. It's not bad damage, but it's not exceptional. It's just all right. Like the 8th years are doing that on like the first turn. Ohan's doing like 20 million more than that at 24 key, and it's good setups. It's just, and you can do that from like turn 3 onwards as well, which is the point I was making with like, we'll get onto Ohan later, but
okay,
in general, people don't really look into these units before they start talking about them. Like I don't want to like seem like condescending again, but they're just like they have a preconceived notion about a unit, and they will not ever like no metric can convince these people that they might be wrong, or to convince them to look into it themselves. They just use anecdotes, and they know, like,
right.
No disrespect to anyone, but that's just what happens.
So here's how I've always kind of looked at the Dokkan community, especially some of the people on Twitter. I started playing Dokkan when I was it came out in 2015. I think I was like 15, 14 years old. I have a feeling that most of these people are probably kids, and a lot of them have and then a lot of them are also most likely just like really casual players. They're not looking at the numbers like that. I think they're like the entire the entire Twitter community is like a small fraction of what the actual Dokkan fan base is. So we're looking at a lot of people who probably play the game casually, who are also on social media casually, and then they see you comparing, LR Vegito Blue to what the 8th year LRs or something like that, right? Or was it? Is it Gohan?
It was just a tweet about his. I mean, Gohan was in the original thread, but it was just a tweet about like the Blue Fusions in general not doing amazing damage outside their active for fully built turns, and it got cropped and tweeted.
Okay, that's me hearing you say that, like if I were a casual player, I'd probably be frothing at the mouth. It's like, what? My LRs aren't doing it.
I don't have a problem with people having like an adverse reaction.
Right.
Like, you're allowed to do that, and you're allowed to. But my issue is that when I talk to people about this stuff and I try and like alleviate some of the confusion, or like try and explain my point and my point of view and why I believe it.
Right.
It's almost always met with people trying to quote retweet to like get likes and trying to like embarrass me in like like make fun of me rather than tackle the point and explain their
Have a good
position
discussion.
on that.
Well, yeah, well, people like you who are getting into like APT and like starting to calculate a lot of that stuff. I couldn't even begin to do any of that. I have
You could, bro. It's not hard.
I know it's probably not, like looking at, the average attack per turn, like their situation stuff. It probably isn't, but like if I were, I just think a lot of these people are casual and they don't really think too hard about what the game itself or the numbers they're seeing. They just see Vegito Blue hitting like a 15 million attack stat, and they're in a state of jubilation because of it, right?
But I feel like that. It's weird. It's like a Mandela effect or something, because he doesn't until he's fully built or in the active turn. I don't get why are people thinking this? They keep on posting screenshots of like a turn of him doing like 18 million and then 15 million additional. He only does that on the fully built or active turns. Like you get like 6 to 9 millions. That is the Blue Fusion turn 1.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm being a terrible host right now. That is a good question, but like I think looking at it, it's always helped me to kind of see, like looking at it in a casual player's mindset. They're gonna look at the 15 million attack stat way more than they're gonna look at any other attack stat that Vegito Blue is doing throughout the fight, which makes sense because a lot of the time when it comes to Dokkan, you're only ever seeing the character at their very best. That's how a lot of people really look at them, is the character at their best, what they're doing at their best, right? 100% level 10 links with a shit ton of support and everything else like that. Like most people are more likely to look at the bigger numbers rather than what they're doing to build up to that. That's for sure.
Yeah, apart from with Gohan, bro, because no one's used the fucking unit.
Listen, man, I like Gohan. Okay, I don't even think. Are you like trying to say he's better than like some top 10 units right now?
Yeah, he is. It just is.
Okay.
A lot of people think that.
Who do you think?
A lot of the math community think that. They just don't say it.
Who do you think he's better than right now? I could probably give you Cooler. I could probably give you he's better than Cooler. I think he's at least.
He is better than Cooler. He was better than Cooler from release. Like, I'm sorry, but he was. His numbers were always comparable to Cooler's. I would say that he might have actually been doing more on the 24 key turns than Cooler was on most of his turns. Probably did more early damage. Cooler probably beat him slightly on the active turns, but when you give him comparable support and links, Gohan is going to be hitting around the exact same level, if not harder, in a lot of scenarios. Like, I think Cooler probably just edited him out on the active turns, and that's about it. But people didn't know that.
Now, how are you looking at units? Like, do you look at them more defensively than you do? Like, are you more so on the attack side than?
No, I'm a defense guy.
Okay, but defense guy. So, but the number that you see the most is probably what you're more focused on, right? The attack stat.
I think it's a little bit deceiving. It's hard to tell just with your eye what damage unit's going to be doing. It's hard to compare damage. A big thing with Gohan is I think people don't properly rate his damage because they don't factor in the normals he does, which will be doing like 4 to 5 million super effective as well, which are guaranteed. So that's already a big stat on top of that anyway. And that's might talk about it as well, but that's a big difference between Majunior and Gohan. And might be why people kind of think Majunior does so much more damage. He doesn't. Gohan does that damage in a lot of scenarios. Right. And a big reason is because Majunior doesn't do normals. He does just supers. And that also matters because when you get the normals, it would proc the hidden potential roll again. It doesn't do that for Majunior. So his overall damage gets a lot lower because of that.
Okay.
But I think just people in general, it's hard. It's hard to kind of gauge the damage these units do just from the naked eye.
Right.
That's why I think APT is a better way of doing it. I think it's just I'm not like a seasoned calc or anything. I do get stuff wrong with APT. I got wrong quite a lot of stuff wrong with it, and people point it out, and that's if people point it out to me and say, "Oh yeah, I think you've done this wrong. I think you've done that wrong," I'm completely fine with that. I will go and check it, or I'll just admit I was wrong.
Okay.
Because I think the main thing is trying to get the truth out there and trying to be fair with these arguments. I've waffled so much I actually don't remember what the question was, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But,
Dude, I'm just listening, man. It's fine if you're rambling. I was just asking you, like, are you more focused on the numbers that you can see
damage and
more?
defense.
Right. Like,
Um,
because comparatively, I think Cooler can get up to a point where offensively he's okay.
yeah. it can.
Gohan after his active skill and stuff like that, he does fall off a lot. But it's not like I don't think it's, if you have this unit 100% and stuff like that, good equips and everything. Like, I think he still has just as good a chance of surviving like I guess an Omega super attack as LR Cooler, right? I would say Gohan is probably a bit better, him being a hybrid
Gohan's
Saiyan.
Probably better. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think Gohan can get higher defense easier.
Okay.
Because in the setups you have with him, and I don't know Cooler's defense like by heart. I know Gohan's, but Gohan's kind of got setups that make him look a little bit better, and I think like you can, like Cooler's super average is going to be like harder to properly get like consistently. So, what I think is two might be like the average. I mean, it might be 3 after his 10th attack or whatever when he gets the additional super.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's a little bit more than that. I've seen Cooler get up to like 5 different super attacks at one point.
No, I mean average.
Okay, averagely. I guess I would say
yeah.
3 then. Because my Cooler supers quite often. He doesn't really get normals. My Beast Gohan though, he's a normal king. He loves getting normal attacks. So.
I don't really. Again, it's a 70% chance. Like Coolers are 30% chances. I think it's just like a negative perception thing with Gohan, where like the entire community just hated him from release. They didn't want to give him a chance, and then She's got put out. I think they were a little bit of an annoying scenario because they didn't really fully show what was going on. Like, I think the guy who released it, Fishy, he released a sheet afterwards, and no one gave a shit. That's like he you know, like people know that do like these calcs. They know Gohan's good, but they didn't want to say anything. You know, for whatever reason, that's up to them.
Well, you know what? It's just, you know, Cooler was cooler, right? I think Cooler has a lot more to him that makes him better than Gohan. Cooler being able to, you know, build up faster by attacking, no matter what attack it is, and then Gohan it only being super attacks. That kind of affects him a little bit. Like it stops him from.
Yeah, if you want to argue it, I have no problem with like people arguing it over. Like, I'm not gonna. I would say that in current content, it's really hard to argue Cooler over Gohan.
No, I agree.
Because the intro for Gohan's really good. People don't. I don't know why people say it isn't, but for Omega, it's really useful. Because on his teams, you can usually turn one tech phase because you've got Junior and full power Super Saiyan 4. So you can get like 1 to 2 turns of guard as well on that. For Cooler there, it'd be a lot harder in that situation. Like, have you seen the truth video of Cooler's team?
No, not yet. I try not to watch very many YouTubers nowadays.
It was like 2 hours or something. It might not have been 2 hours, but it was very long. He had like 10 runs and they all failed. And Cooler was a consistent weak point. Like, the big advantage Gohan has over. I don't want this to turn into just a Gohan video, to be honest, but
yeah, okay.
Just end it here. Like, he's he has some advantages. I'm not gonna like argue it too like massively, but it's up to people to decide that.
I do want to ask you. So I have the Truth's top 10 list popped up, and I usually do. I am pretty agreeable when it comes to his top 10s. I think once he gets to the 10 range, you can kind of argue 11 as well, maybe 11 being in the top 10 range. So I'm just gonna name off some of the characters that are on here, and I just want you to answer whether or not if Beast Gohan is better than these characters on the list or wherever you place them. Okay, so yeah, the blue fusions.
Before we start, I just want to say, like,
go ahead.
I'm not objectively saying Gohan's better than these units. I'm just saying that I believe there's a lot of factors that you could argue him as better. I think a big thing with the top 10 at the moment is it's extremely close. Like, a lot of the units are close stat wise, utility wise. Apart from like Bulma, GT Duo, Full Power Super Saiyan 4, and Piccolo. The rest of them, I kind of feel like you can just put them wherever. Like, I'm not gonna like There are some a little bit like Birdcube being in there. Nah, why the fuck is he in the top 10, bro? He's just not in the top 10. No idea what people say.
Okay.
What team is he even used on? He's been phased out.
I use him on, honestly, any chance I get to use Birdcube. I like running him with the GT, like any team I can run him with GT Duo. He's fun.
How do you run him with the GT Duo though? Because you don't get that revive then.
Right. Well, no. So what happens is I don't know, man. I just like to have fun in the game, so I'll have my revive units on there.
That's fair.
But so usually if I am running, I'm not really running the GT Duo if I'm running him. It's more, I meant to say the Z Duo. But like the Z Duo are there. And then I'd have like Tech 23rd World Tournament Goku, right? Like on an Earthbred Fighters team or something like that. That's when I run him.
Like,
yeah.
He's a good unit. I just think like, when you argue the top 10, as cringe and shit as it sounds, fun is not a factor. It's mainly about like the real like small things, the small details, what makes like the tiniest things. Like because GT2 are on a lot of the teams that kind of clash with Birdcube, or like just in general, Birdcube's not on many good teams at the moment.
Earthbred Fighters is super good for Goku. I'd say,
but GT2 is kind of like a shoe-in for Earthbred Fighters, so it's kind of hard to argue like even using Birdcube there, because what happens a lot of the time is you're gonna miss the GT Duo's bomb, which is obviously really powerful for like two of the hardest bosses at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're going to be forced to have to like revive a Birdcube a lot of time, which like you can win doing that, but again, it's like being like as optimal as possible for this top 10 stuff.
Okay, so let me just, so we've established that you're not objectively saying that these units are better. You just think there's like a possibility. Now once you get down to like the top 5, you can argue it a little bit better. Okay. So I'm just gonna list them off and let me know what spot you think he could be on. So we had the Blue Fusions at 5.
I think it could be argued as better than Blue Fusions. Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's kind of crazy that Blue Fusions are higher than the Z Duo. I think Z Duo deserves a little bit like 5th place at least.
At the moment, I do think the Z Duo are better. Yeah, I think Z Duo are probably. I think they are 5th. Yeah, in my list, I think they were 5th.
Okay. So would you put them again up against the Z Duo?
No, I think Z Duo are better at the moment, but I don't think they were. When it was Sin was the hardest boss. I think Gohan was definitely arguable over him. But at the moment, they're pretty strong for the STR phase of Omega. I think that phase is the hardest in the game out of any boss at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. That fucking phase is crazy.
Okay, ignoring the attack stats and everything else like that, we have Carnival Goku at 7.
Which Carnival Goku? What Birdcube?
AGL Carnival Goku.
AGL. Oh, Kaiku. I think. I do think either one's arguable. I do think what people don't realize about Kaiku is his damage is fucking pitiful for basically the entire fight. Like, I do like the fact that he's a really good tank. He's got loads of utility, and I think that's why you can definitely argue him above Gohan. Like, I wouldn't argue it too strongly, but I think Gohan can kind of people really underrate early damage in these teams where like you want to kill STR Omega as soon as possible. You want to kill Tech Omega ideally as soon as possible on a lot of those teams.
Oh yeah.
They kind of only look at one turn's damage rather than the entire fight. I think that's when Majunior Gohan and the 8th years both like all really exceeding that. In general, I don't know if there's many other units at the moment that do that, but
yeah. As good as those two. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I could think of a unit that does that early.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have. I'm sure you'll probably put him above them, but we also have Vegeta and Trunks at 8.
Oh, I don't even have them in my top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
no,
my
I don't think
God.
they're worse than Kaiku. Sorry, I take that back. But I think they're worse than Kaiku, and I know Kaiku's slightly above them stat-wise. Like, I don't think it's like they definitely do more damage, but I think Kaiku's got like slightly more defense.
Okay.
You know, they're really similar units. I just don't like the fact that Vegeta and Trunks are limited to slot 1. and I don't think they're good enough slot 1 to justify them even being on the list.
Oh,
Because they do
wow.
still take a lot of damage.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of fights they can take like upwards of 300 to 400k. You know, they're a little bit better against defense lowering bosses. So physical sin and in Omega they're going to be quite good at. But
yeah, and medical liqueur I think was their honestly I think they could be okay in Omega though. I think they could. I'd like to do a video
oh
on
yeah,
that.
they can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Like the units that I'm saying aren't better, definitely are still really good units. Like don't get me wrong.
Well, yeah,
I
once
think
you
they're
get to the top like even 20 in the game, it's kind of those are probably the pinnacle, so okay. I do believe that Gohan can somehow like what other units are before him though. I'd have to look at that. We have the top 10 here, and then I gotta look at like who is 11 through 20, because if I don't think I could put Gohan anywhere lower than like 13. I don't like if I'm looking at the top 20 units in the game, I don't think he could be lower than 13 to me.
Yeah, I feel like with the truce list, I just don't think he likes Gohan in general. He don't like, for some reason they don't like the 70% chance of super units. I don't know why. You know, he's talking about how Trunks is never super for him at the moment as well. I think Gresh did the same. Gresh made a tweet about the GT Duo, didn't he? And people got mad at him.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That was such a funny tweet too.
I appreciate it, because that's consistent at least. Like if he turned around and said, "Oh yeah, the GT Duo are so good," like that would, you know, after shitting on Alhan for so long, at least he's consistent with that stuff. But
yeah. But GT Duo, they're just a completely different tier. Okay, so we've already described you think he's way better than Bergku.
I think he's around the 6 to 10 range. I would say 6 to 10 is where I'd probably place him.
Okay.
I think anyone in that range is probably arguable above or below, to be honest. But
if I would have to move the Z Duo up a slot up to 5, and then I guess I could look at like Blue Fusions. Gohan in his best turn, I've seen him hit like 15 million. My Gohan.
Oh, he can hit way higher than that. Bro.
Yeah, no. My Gohan, he only has 2 dupes into him, so yeah.
Lynx is the biggest thing for Gohan. He's got some real like wanked setups. I think.
Yeah.
Him and Cooler have probably got the biggest wank setups in the game, choice. But
yeah, it takes. I think what it is to a lot of people is like, how much effort does it take for me to get to this point, and then also, which if that's the case, I think it would take way more effort to get Cooler up to. I mean, outside of big bad bosses, that's not too hard to get. But how much effort can I?
Yeah.
How much effort is it going to take for me to get these units to their best scenarios, situations, etc.?
The thing is, Gohan's 2 best partners at the moment are Full Power Super Saiyan 4, top 4 unit in the game, and Kaiku, also top 10 unit in the game. So, and they're both really good slot 1. So I can't, like, he's just got everything he needs at the moment to excel. And I think he could still even be better. That's the funniest part. Like if he gets like a Rainbow Warp Changer as a slot 1, say like a Beast Gohan LR comes out a standalone, and he has similar links and he has a Rainbow Warp Changer. It's just going to keep going on. Like he's not going to fall off. I would say the one way he's going to like massively fall off is probably if we're going to get like longer content that has like a really hard second to last phase.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't abuse the intro and kind of play around it.
I think Omega is almost there. Oh, they did a really good job with that Omega boss. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely really hard, but you can, like I said earlier, you can definitely play around the intro very easy.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with. I haven't had a problem with Gohan in that fight, really.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Well, neither did anyone. I haven't seen anyone like. Even I think the truth did it like second try or something like that in this video, and yeah, Gohan didn't do much better. But when you build around Gohan, you will see results. That's like the main thing. I think a lot of people don't build around him.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is like a lot of people don't like putting in extra effort to, or like focusing a lot of effort on one unit when they could. There's a lot of better units out there that also are just way easier to get into their best situations as well. So
yeah, that's entirely justifiable. Like I get like playing for fun. If you don't enjoy the unit, don't use the unit. But I just wouldn't. I don't include that when I'm rating units. Like
right.
in the top unit, I just don't. That's not something I would factor.
No. I'm not rating fun. I'm rating like viability, right? Like if I'm building the entire team around like if I had a whole team to help Cooler out, like I feel like the rest of that team isn't really all that crazy. You know what I mean? Like Cooler himself could be good, but like the entire team, like, it could get caught up. And
you've got good units for Cooler at the moment. You've got Allmund Arrays and what they are. The guard slot 1.
Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah. They are.
Then you've got Turles, who's really good at the moment in some of the content. Who else? You got my junior, obviously. He's just he's a beast.
Crazy. Does he work well with? I haven't ran him with full power. My Cooler has like zero dupes, so I don't really run Cooler much.
Yeah.
But
I think he's quite good on the team. I know the team has a lot of good options at the moment. That's what I know. But
so
I just
Go ahead.
Go on, sorry.
No.
I was just going to say that I don't think like Cooler's team, it does get heavily buffed every now and then, but I just don't think it's as strong as the other teams at the moment, and that's kind of why I rate Cooler a little bit lower. It's not that it's bad, it's just I don't think it's anywhere near as strong as the other teams.
Right. So okay. I do want to ask you this before we move on to the next question. How do you feel about Omega Shudrod?
What, the boss?
No.
Oh,
what Omega?
New one. I literally forgot he existed, bro. That's, I don't know. I don't care. I'll be honest. It's like.
Are you one to believe? Are you one to believe that because the unit's team is bad, that makes that unit bad as well?
It's a big factor for me. Yeah, it's okay. Definitely matters when I rate units. He's not a bad unit. Like
no.
I just think the GT hero, like if he led a different team, I think it would have been alright. Or if we had actual GT bosses lead.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I hate that. I think GT bosses is a fine category to lead. If only that team had like just 3 more buffs. I think 3 more buffs. Yeah. I think that those EZAs were unacceptable in that batch. Those batch of EZAs, all of that batch of EZAs were unacceptable to me. Huh? Baby was Baby is good. Baby is good. No. I'm not talking about Baby. I mean the Kid Goku, the Cell, and Frieza. Oh yeah. That batch of EZAs, that should be an unacceptable EZA. But if 2 of those characters from that EZA were good, I think Omega would have been fine. I honestly, I think the team would have been fine.
Yeah, it needs just a little bit more. I think it needs units that can tank the AOEs.
Yeah,
because a lot of them are just on super units at the moment. Like Baby's really good. He adds a lot to the team with the giant form and stuff. That is going to be really fucking good once that team gets going.
A lot of people hate items, but GT bosses can get to the last phase of Omega with items. I'm just saying you need the help, but one or 2 more good units, and GT bosses is destroying that event. I think
it can definitely look good. It can.
Yeah,
it just needs a little bit of help.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's. I'm happy someone agrees with me. There we go. Okay. Got him on the Omega side, the Omega trade. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is a question I was thinking about, and I wanted to know what your answer on it was, obviously. But what are your thoughts on being considered infamous in the community? And if there is one thing you'd like the community to know, what would it be?
I don't really care. It's, I'm not on Twitter for a popularity contest. Or X, whatever it's called now. I just want to talk about the fucking game. That's literally it. People always make it about like agenda and like quote retweeting and shit like that. Like I just don't care enough to do anything about it. Like my personality is one where I'm not going to take a soft approach. I'm fine with even if people hate me, I'm fine with confrontation. If I don't agree with something and I think like someone's being disingenuous like that, I'm not going to shy away from it. I think that makes me look a bit like a bit of a prick a lot of the time.
Right.
But I do think that I do get treated like shit on Twitter. I don't know what it is. I think Reddit. I went on Reddit not so long ago. So we wanted to post some of the APT stuff, and I don't know what it is, but Reddit was fucking way better than Twitter for me for some reason. I don't know why. Like people knew me, but there was the odd person that did what they do on Twitter. But on Twitter, it's literally just cult of personality, bro. It's I do like the people on there. It's just I get frustrated when it gets like I'll pull up that what we were talking about earlier with that Vegito Blue argument thing.
Oh, right. Yeah. Who?
Alex's tweet, and the tweet was hold on, let me get up. And I like Alex. This is something that happens with a lot of people. Like, it's not unique to him.
Right.
But he took a screenshot of the conversation I had with someone else, posted it, so I had to like find out by like finding it from other people, like quoting it and like shitting on me as well.
Mhm.
I think he called me a rat in the tweet. I can't find it; it's pretty far down. But
He did call you a rat. I thought he called you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said you were a rat or something.
He kind of took it a little bit out of context, called me a rat, and then as soon as I like started talking to you about it and like asking why he thinks that, like why I have my position, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I did respond with, I think I called him a mong. It's probably shouldn't have done that, but here it is. I found it. Yeah, so I was in a heated conversation with someone. I'll actually send it in Discord so you can see it. It got 635 likes of like people shitting on me basically. And then I explain it. There was one reply by Playmaker. I haven't checked yet, but he makes a good point about the stacks. I might have been playing around with the sheet and slightly messed up some of the stats I gave, but it wouldn't have been, it'd be like 5 million if that. So it wouldn't have been like a big margin. But these kind of tweets, they're not in pursuit for what is right or like the truth. It's about trying to, do you know what ad hominem is?
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to ad hom people constantly, and fucking as soon as you try and fight back, it'll be just kish galloping, moving the goalpost. If they want to do that, whatever, like you know, good on you, I guess. But
okay, so you wanna when you come on Twitter and you're like, okay, Alt Han is better than the Bleed Fusions. You're opening yourself up to a discussion. You're not like,
when I come and do stuff like that, it's because I've been looking at stuff about it. I'm open to change my mind, but a lot of the people, they don't argue properly. They try and just insult me instantly. Like, they disagree with what I say, they'll just insult me instantly, and it's like I've been getting kind of annoyed with it. I've kind of probably said like stupid shit because of it. It's just made me sour, the entire thing, like, because it's been happening for so long now. Right. And it's what it is. But
okay, not a bad answer. So I guess the second part of that question was, is there anything you want the community to know when it comes to, like, I guess following off of what you just said?
I just wish people would look into stuff themselves rather than just believe stuff they see on Twitter, because a lot of it is kind of unrealistically shown.
Or to add on to that, your favorite Dokkan YouTuber too. Like, don't just.
My favorite Dokkan YouTuber.
No. I'm saying, like, don't just believe what your favorite Dokkan YouTuber is saying as well.
Yeah, sorry. That's
form your own opinions.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think, like, props to the truth. I think.
Oh yeah.
Apart from some of the teams he used with Alt-Han, I think he does kind of show teams quite well. He shows them realistically. Like Dokkan World, he does do a good job of showing what units can do in their optimal scenarios. But a lot of the time, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to see it. You're going to you're not going to have every unit. Some of the units, they might not work too well for certain events. I know he kind of brings a lot of wanky units sometimes that are like, like it's like he's good for seeing, what the best a unit can do. But I think the truth shows a more realistic, kind of thing, and he kind of explains what he's doing it.
Yeah. No. The truth does a good job. I just mean, like, have fucking fun with the game, I guess. But if you're going to have fun with the game, you're not going to be way too worried about what meta is. I guess you're not the type of person who should be arguing on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Which I think a lot of people that are arguing on Twitter is that kind of person, and that's completely fine. Like, I wish they wouldn't like join in these conversations and like get mad when I bring something up, like, oh yeah, like calcs or APT or something like that. Like, it's not difficult to do that stuff. It's very baseline, and yeah, you can mess it up. Like I've definitely messed it up, but you know, you just move on from that. That's it. Like,
Okay.
And yeah, to conclude, baseline is don't trust anything you see. That's basically it.
Okay.
From anyone, I don't think you should literally. Stuff's just kind of like Truth was saying it the other day. People have agendas and they just push it onto a certain like Twitter, Reddit, places like that. It all just kind of people just want to make their favorite unit look the best, and everyone's guilty of it. I'm definitely guilty of it in ways. I try and like I wouldn't say Alhan's my favorite unit. I want to clarify that, but I do like him a lot. But I try and have like a fair viewing, like to a certain degree. Or if I do a wank post, I'll say it's a wank post. As you can see in the Alex one, 15 million, 10 million, that's fully built, and the entire thing was talking about on their first turn. That's kind of what I mean. It's such an unfair showing, and 655 people like that and thought it was right. I just don't think that's fair. I think that's completely biased.
Yeah, no, that's like that's kind of bad faith a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's very bad faith. Like the thing with a lot of these things, if it was like a serious community, a lot of this shit would just not stand. Like you would just instantly be like, your opinions would just be disregarded there on out, and you'd be known as a guy that like completely unfairly showed this shit.
Right.
But in Dokkan, it gets rewarded in the Dokkan community to do this stuff. Like you get like tons of likes and follows and people interacting. That's why I say it's cult of personality. It literally is that.
Yeah, I know. I see your point there. There definitely is a hint of agenda and not even a hint. It's kind of like in your face all the time.
Yeah,
with agenda and stuff like that. I like Vector, bro. I think Vector's a funny guy, but Vector has some.
Bro, I do like Vector. Vector's been weird recently. I don't know why.
Vector's got some good takes though. It's probably because of the debate panel coming up, but we'll see.
Nah, before that, bro. I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into Vector because obviously we got the thing coming up. But Vector, I think Vector kind of like a big portion of those people kind of got pissed off with me when I started talking about how Alhan can outdamage my junior. And I think they, a lot of them really like OG Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And they just kind of, like, from that moment onwards, it was always like, oh yeah, well, you can't be judging, blah, blah, blah. Like, Vector used to be pushing, and I saw Alhan, the truth literally tweet this as well. Vector was literally sucking Alhan's cock for, like, half a year. And as soon as I post that, he switches up and it's like, oh yeah, Alhan's so shit. It's like, yeah, okay. Sure, bro.
I think Vector's a funny guy. Okay,
yeah.
But as a unit as a whole, though, I think I think I do like Majunior just a bit more than Alhan. I think I'm going to stand by that.
I have no problem with that. I literally no problem with that. I think that it's a perfectly reasonable take. I just think that the entire point of this stuff, and I'll say it, I don't want to like spoil too much for what I've got prepared, but the entire point of this stuff is to make people realize that Gohan is a comparable unit to these other units. Like, it's not, you don't have to view him in that way. I'm not like, oh yeah, you must see him as top 6 or you're dumb. No,
right.
You can view him in any light you want, whatever. But the way he's been represented makes like people come to me and they think he does shit damage the entire time, and oh yeah, like I don't know. I'm gonna get too fucking worked up if I talk about it.
No,
it's.
I get what you're saying, man. I think that people who are completely disregarding Gohan as a whole, like as a good unit, are just wrong. And obviously they're wrong, right? I feel like most Dokkan YouTubers and people who actually play the game and experience these units on a day-to-day basis, they can admit to themselves they can be salty that it's not Beast Gohan, but they can admit to themselves that Beast Gohan or Gohan is a good unit. Yeah, I agree. I think that they're a little bit too quick to disregard Gohan just a tad.
What I will say about this is that I love the truth in every other aspect, and all the other Dokkan tubers, the big ones like the rest of that, but they did Gohan so fucking dirty, it's ridiculous. Like the entire, like it was like a cloud of like bias, misinformation, all this stuff. The truth had like some video where he ranked Gohan, and it was like Gohan below Chile at like fucking 40 or something like that. They're like total units in the game. Gohan stat wise, I was arguable at 2 when he came out, easy, and it wouldn't even be a fucking challenge. Like on that team, like I remember it so fucking vividly. Like people, they were saying Gamma 2 should be run over on the rotation over Gohan and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's just not fair. It's fucking,
Yeah,
people just put him in the worst possible situations and
so I see, I get what you're saying. Like these big Dokkan YouTubers are calling. A lot of people are very quick to people listen to what Dokkan YouTubers are saying for sure.
Sorry, I don't want to speak over you. Sorry,
you're okay. You're okay. Go ahead.
Mean to you, but I just like people base their opinions on what these big Dokkan YouTubers say. Like if the truth doesn't like a unit, you can bet you can make a large, better sell a large sum of money that the rest of the community, or like 99% of the community, is going to also dislike that unit.
Right.
Like Super Trunks, I think it's kind of happened pretty clearly where people, it's a bit different with Super Trunks because you can see where the problems come in. Like it's definitely he has a lot of issues, but I think people underrate. They kind of overblow the issues in base he has, and they overrate or underrate how much he's doing. Better than other TURs and units.
Am I sorry to talk over you, but am I ridiculous to say that Trunks feels a lot more restricted than Omega Shenron? Am I a weirdo to say that, man?
I would disagree. I would say that much. I don't know. I honestly, I'll have to search up Omega's kit. I know he requires GT boss.
That's it though. That's it. Yeah, just GT bosses. I've seen some.
Run? Is it just
it's a full team? It's a full team, yeah. It's a full team of GT boss. Okay, no. So you can run as many as you want, but to get the max potential out of his passive, you have to run a full team of GT bosses. But hear me out. If GT bosses all of a sudden becomes the best team in the game, is he then more restricted?
Yeah, he'll be very good.
No,
no. He would be way better than Trunks in that scenario. But I don't know, actually. Omega, he's just kind of quirky. I know he builds up really slow as well. I know when he's fully built up, his damage is actually really fucking good. But
yeah,
I think it's just getting to that point is a bit of a challenge. Obviously, he's a good slot 1. I think kind of GT bosses.
Amazing slot 1. They need a new slot 1. They need, honestly, frankly,
he'll get buffed.
A good character for.
He'll last.
I know.
He's got his lines up as well. So yeah, it's a shame they didn't give him the effect 23rd World Tournament Goku has, where he gets to revive effects even if another unit revives.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
He could have benefited off that a lot, but it should be fine no matter what anyway with that unit. But,
yeah, but I think as a Dokkan YouTuber, I'm not there yet, but you kind of have a responsibility for the community itself. So what you say is definitely going to heavily impact what the community is saying, and that goes for the Truth, Nano, Diddy Sauce. I think Diddy makes some mistakes, but he's a good Dokkan YouTuber nonetheless.
Obviously you're just human. Like you
right.
You obviously you might be wrong about stuff, or you might change your opinions and stuff, or no one's expecting Truth and Goresh to be fucking omnipresent and
a lot of people do though. You'd be surprised, man. A lot of people do.
Some people do, but they're dumb if they do. These people are just men. They're not fucking they're not above everyone, and people often treat them like they're like royalty. I don't know if they like that. It might not. I know I probably wouldn't like that if I was that big, but it's no. I do think I'm pretty sure I've spoken to Truth about this before. I think obviously you have the right to say whatever opinion you want. You can hold your own opinions. The issue I have with big accounts on Twitter is that they will sometimes use and I don't think Truth or Goresh does this a little bit, but they will use their followings to kind of clown on people, and that's where it becomes dangerous, because I've had it so many times where I've been swarmed by hundreds of fucking people harassing me the entire time. The majority, I'm probably known this way. In fact, I'm probably mainly known in the Dokkan community because of the Truth video, and I think that was a good video. It was funny at the time, but I think the negative knock-on effects that's had for me have been fucking huge, immeasurable.
Yeah, that's one of the scariest things. I don't think it's gonna get nearly as big to that point though, but like that's why I'm trying to communicate to you on this video specifically, because I want to make sure that
you can host. No.
Okay.
You'll get big. This kind of content's it feels a good niche.
It's if I don't, I don't. If I do, I do. I just like making the content, and I'd say you're a pretty passionate person in the community. Like, you like the game, you have fun with the game. I'm doing this out of, it's really just out of passion. I love this community. I want it to be immortalized in some way. So
that's a good thing about Dokkan. I think everybody does it out of passion. Like, no one does this shit because they don't like. It's not a 9 to 5 where you have to come do it. It's something you do because you enjoy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that shows a lot. And I think that's why I think a lot of these arguments become emotionally charged, where people really, really want their favorite unit to be argued better than like all these other units, and they're kind of like, I do it, everyone does it, everyone's guilty of it. We're all human. That's what we have to remember.
I think the Dokkan YouTubers have a responsibility to kind of, well, first off, I think it's crazy that video had, but then again, I don't think it was Truth's intention. He was just commenting on something that he found funny.
Truth's a really nice guy. I've spoken to Truth quite a lot. Truth is a very nice guy. I'm sure Gresh is as well. I haven't really spoken to him, but
I think the community also has a responsibility to kind of form their. That's why I've stopped watching Dokkan YouTubers, like on showcases and stuff like that. I form my own opinion on the unit, and then after that I'll watch their showcase and be like, okay, I'll see where I was wrong, etc., etc. I think the community has to do that more. They need to start forming their own opinions a little bit more, and then cross-checking a lot, not just blindly listening to their.
It's by far the biggest issue in the community at the moment. I think it's like you said earlier. It's mainly because of a younger crowd. I think people are very impressionable. They're young. I know a lot of people like 16, 15 on Twitter. They don't have the same kind of care for like actually arguing about the truth. They just want to kind of
echo. Yeah, it's almost an echo chamber. Once you get to some parts of the Twitter community, it definitely becomes like an echo chamber at some point.
And I think Twitter's the worst for that as well, by far.
Oh, terrible! It's a shitty website. But yeah.
Okay. It does have its good aspects. I just think that all this, the quote retweets are the most toxic shit. Like, it's this ridiculous. Being quoted by a bigger account. Like, before I lost all my followers as well, I think I've been treated worse since I've had less followers. And I know and I want to say this on here actually, I've had so many people reach out to me on Discord and sometimes even on Twitter, that tried to get into the Dokkan community and stopped because of all the toxic quote retweeting. And I really think, as a community, we need to move across, stop trying to be toxic and fucking berate people and make fun of them for likes. You are doing damage to the community by doing that, and you're taking away from, you're making it a fucking joke, to be honest. Like, no one wants to talk in that. Like, no one new wants to come there unless they have the status quo opinions, they just, oh yeah, I believe the fusions are the best units in the game. I believe, the community will be boring if you don't have people that have different opinions.
Oh yeah,
and I think where Twitter falls down is it really rewards people for being as toxic as possible, which sucks. It's shit for a community that is mainly focused on debating and stuff like that. It's the worst fucking way to manage it.
I agree. Oh man, I agree. But that honestly, I agree with you there. Twitter as a whole, though, it's exactly like that. It's going to promote more negative stuff than it is going to do positive.
I've been in different communities in Twitter, and I think I've been in a couple. It's not a toxic. Dokkan is the most toxic community I've ever been in my life.
I mean, I could seeing a lot of stuff. Yeah, seeing a lot of stuff, man. Dokkan does have a lot of things that we need to kick out in the community. We need, honestly, some of the bigger voices in the community to to really speak out on it.
I tried talking about it, but I kind of just got shut down every time. We have these big things on Twitter every time where something bad will happen, and oh, we shouldn't have done this. I'm sorry, and then a week later, everyone starts doing it again.
Right.
No real difference, no real change ever gets made.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm guilty of stuff as well, but
it is a hard problem to fix, right? Like, the community's been like this since almost since the game's been out, right? So, and the Dokkan is only ever bringing in newer people. I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are looking like now, but it's as the community gets bigger, the harder and harder it's going to be to solve this problem. I think we've honestly reached the point where it's almost too late. But I think if as long as a lot of the bigger people in the community kind of stick together and kind of call that stuff out when it is happening, it'll slowly fade somewhere. I agree with you though. I think Dokkan is it has a lot of toxic people, but I think that toxic stuff comes from a place of passion. I'm not excusing it, right? But I think it does. A lot of it comes from a place of passion, and also Twitter numbers, bigger number, better person kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just something that shouldn't happen. Like if you're going to try and engage in like an actual conversation about it,
right?
You just shouldn't be doing this stuff. It's as simple as that. I don't know when it started. I don't think it used to be this bad. I've been on there. I've been there for what, a year or two now. It never used to be this bad. It has actually gotten a lot worse.
I agree.
Because I feel like it just rewards you. Like you get more followers and you get more likes off doing this stuff. You shouldn't really even be quote reviewing most of the time. Like it's purely to embarrass whoever you're talking to, and that's just how fucking toxic is that when you're having a debate or a conversation about something.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree.
And I don't want to like make out that these big accounts are all all cunts or whatever. They're not.
No.
Most of them are really nice people.
Well, they're doing it. It's not like, I mean, I think when the truth kind of quote retweets and he's like, this guy is.
I don't think
that's coming from a. Yeah, the truth.
This isn't. I'm not aiming this at the truth at all. I think he's pretty good in this stuff. I think.
No, it was an example. It was just an example.
Yeah,
like
sorry.
Somebody. I don't know if. No, you're okay. Somebody like I don't know if I don't even know if I see Minato do it, but like the truth and people like that. He does. Okay. Well, if people like Minato, right, who will quote retweet, I think that's kind of bad. It's kind of like but I don't know if it's coming out of a place of malice, right? If the truth did it, I don't think it would ever come out of a place of malice or anything like that. Maybe for Minato, because Minato strikes me as like kind of a sarcastic little guy, but
whoa, a little guy, whoa,
I'm not trying to little bro him. I'm not trying to little bro him, okay? I'm just saying. He strikes me as
little bro.
No, but that's what he strikes me as. He strikes me as somebody who's sarcastic. So maybe he he quote retweets and it's meant to come off that way, right? But somebody like the truth, like commenting under stuff and interacting with the conversation. Yeah, massively. But he will call you a clown though. That I will say that he will call you a clown.
He's ever called me a clown.
He's called Vector a clown. He's called Vector.
Yeah, he reserves that for Vector most time. I think the thing with the truth is, I think actually a lot of the time we probably agree on most stuff because at school we are both pretty like high defense valuing people.
Mm-hmm.
I think where we differ is just the alt-harm stuff really, but I don't know. I don't think the truth actually has a massive influence on these problems. I think he can, maybe he will sometimes, but I think in general he's pretty responsible at the moment. So major props for that stuff. But
the truth is, I would say probably the most loved person in the community. Well, actually, you know what? No, I think the truth. I take that back. In the Dokkan community, on like YouTube and stuff. But once you take it to Twitter, I think the truth's pretty hated over here on Twitter.
On Twitter, really? I think he is. I think he's quite liked on Twitter.
I think he gets a lot of flack on Twitter.
Everyone does, though, bro. Like, I think on Reddit, people do fucking hate him. Like,
Reddit too.
Yeah. On Discord, I also think I've been in a lot of conversations where people kind of, I don't know why. I think they just got like a negative stigma in the whole like Calca communities and stuff like that. Like communities that are like rife with people that kind of high damage people. But
yeah,
I know. I think the truth is one of the nicest people I've spoken to. Really, I think he's he's not malicious, but when he does stuff, I think he might have the joke every now and then with like Vector and stuff, and maybe might fucking do it to me every now and then. But I don't think it's like most of the time that stuff isn't bad. I think when it's like obviously no matter what you do, if you're negative to someone in a tweet, that you're going to get a lot of people underneath that are going to be like kind of spurring it on and agreeing and like trying to harass you over it and all that, which does happen an awful lot no matter what with these big accounts.
Right. Yeah. It's going.
I don't think he usually actually argues about the point. It's not like trying to like win brownie points over people.
Yeah, if anyone, I don't think the truth needs any more brownie points than he has. I wish him the best, man, because he's always struck me as a nice guy, but On Twitter, I don't think he needs any more brownie points. He's chilling.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, okay. Well, yeah, a lot of agreeable opinions here. I think the Twitter community could. I wanted to do some stuff on like some videos on Reddit, but that community is so fucking toxic. I don't know if I want to be around any. I don't even want to bring attention to that. But Twitter is fine.
I didn't mind Reddit. Honestly didn't mind Reddit when I was on it. I think there was some toxicity, but it wasn't really that bad. Like I don't know. I know when I was using Reddit, it was kind of like a bit of a dead phase where loads of people left because of the strikes, whatever they did, the blackout stuff.
Oh right, yeah.
Or whatever it's called. I don't know. But I don't know. I think this community is pretty good. It could be a lot better if we just acted like grown-ups a lot of the time.
Yeah, instead of I agree.
It's Twitter. Like I know what do you expect. Like I know I'm probably moaning about nothing here, but
well, I think the problem is that we don't have enough. Twitter is like it's a niche within a niche, right? Like the Twitter community in Dokkan is pretty small. So bringing this over to YouTube, I think would be a good, is a good thing to kind of open up to a lot of different arguments and stuff like actual arguments. So
any way you can kind of give people the platform to elaborate on what they're saying, kind of humanize people.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of people kind of forget that on Twitter you are talking to actual people and you're not just it does really become a popularity contest on Twitter. I think it kind of brings out the worst in everybody.
I agree.
Like, okay, prime example, I just I made a post about a possible by Down Celebration theme, and it was Broly's, it was Movie 10 Broly and Dragon Ball Super Broly, and within like a minute, one of the big accounts called Dokkan tweeted no, and then I started getting loads of fucking people coming to my post and oh yeah, constructive criticism. No, a lot of people do that. There's a lot of good comments under it, but you just get the odd bad apples, and then it kind of escalates every time, and then you should be aiming to have discussion on these platforms. You shouldn't be aiming to shut people down and try and embarrass them.
Yeah.
Oh man, the worst way.
I've gotten some of my quote retweet. I had a bit of an experience with this. I forgot what his name was. I'm not gonna say it on here, but he quote retweeted my video, and a lot of people were shitting on it. I thought it was hilarious. I was laughing the whole fucking time. But that happened, and I was like, man, that's kind of crazy that how many people who I doubt didn't even watch the video and are shitting at it. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, it's just the internet, I guess. A lot of this is just negative people in general. But
yeah, I can't let it bother me too much. I asked for this, maybe doing this kind of content. So
yeah. The important thing to you're opening yourself up to scrutiny when you do this stuff.
Yeah.
I just think it should be done more responsible by the big accounts. I think that's my one gripe at the moment with Twitter. I expect a lot of shit from the smaller accounts that just kind of oh yeah, well fuck you, and then leave. That's obviously going to happen on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I just think these big accounts just need to be a little bit more responsible with how they do stuff, because it is clearly inciting hate. I get so much shit from this stuff, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
I don't want to come in and just whinge about it.
No, that's okay. Yeah. I think it's
major effect on my life.
I think it's a very important thing to talk about, especially in a community that we're passionate about, right? A lot of it, stuff like this, if this happened in any other community, I think the community would die really, really, really quickly.
Oh, it would. Easily, very quick.
So, yeah, no, it's definitely an important thing to talk about, and getting your experience on it is super important too. I don't think it affects your day to day, but it is when you're on Twitter. Anymore. When you're on Twitter, it definitely, you're seeing it all the time. It definitely can be okay, can we have a normal talk, please? Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had that privilege in about fucking, I don't know, a year and a half, probably now.
Yeah.
People just don't, what can I do? Can't do much more. I don't really care enough. I've kind of stopped going on Twitter most of the time anyway. I come on once or twice a week now.
That's why I think platforms like this are definitely important. So that's my whole goal with this, is to kind of get people on Twitter to talk about their experiences. You're doing a good
job. You should get more people on.
I want to try.
What we got? Vector. I'm not gonna name people because they might not do it, but you could probably get a lot of people on their big accounts. It'll be fun.
Hopefully, I think it's a really fun idea. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
Well, of course.
Very good.
We still have we still have a shit ton of questions, man. I guess I can ask you a couple more of mine since we've been going for a long time now.
Yeah, yeah, I did say I was gonna wrap it on, didn't I?
No, you're okay.
It.
No, I don't mind. Hey, you're stretching out the video, brother. I promise
Yeah,
30
exactly.
minutes. I promise 30 minutes, man. So this is good. This is good.
Get that ad revenue, bro.
So okay. So if you could change anything about LR Ultimate Gohan, what would it be? Like, what are your biggest gripes? First off, what are your biggest gripes on Ultimate Gohan? And then
I've talked about this quite a lot. I think my biggest gripes, I think, it used to be Links. It's not anymore. You know, I kind of wish it was Saiyan lineage. I think if we swapped one of the attack links for Saiyan lineage, I wouldn't be mad. But I don't really think it's that big of a deal, if I'm being honest. I think a big thing would have been LR Piccolo having shocking speed. That he should have had that, and that would have made a very big difference.
Yeah, I agree.
People always talk about his link set, but Piccolo's is dog shit. Piccolo's like one of the worst link sets in the game at the moment. Like, it's so bad for top tier LR. I think for Gohan, what I would do is probably I don't want to make him too OP because I don't think he's that bad at the moment. I think either making his key restrictions lower, so say for his super effective it would be 20 key, and for his additional super it would be 10, or not 10, sorry, 18. I think that would have made him a lot better. Like, that would have made him significantly more consistent.
I think just having key build up would have been a bit better for better key build up would be better.
Any kind of key stuff like that would help. Like,
okay.
Obviously, no, I don't think his key's that bad at the moment, but I do think on certain teams it's definitely noticeable. Where it's harder to get his key stuff, but
key on super attack, I think that'd be fine. Or yeah. Go ahead.
One thing I would do is it's weird because Piccolo has a whole extra part to his passive, where he gets 50% damage reduction and a full heal if you have 7 hits or more and go below 50% HP. What I think I would do to kind of give Ult-Han something like that is probably from the 5th or maybe 6th super, give him guard, and that would probably make him like top 3 in the game, to be honest, because people underrate how high he gets defensively. Like, he does get pretty damn high, like from 900 to like 1.5 million he can get some of his teams now.
Yeah, I think honestly people would, at least the truth, I think the truth would have chilled out a little bit more if he had his guard for a lot longer than Piccolo had his extra damage reduction.
His intro 5 turns, it also wouldn't help, but people, I don't know, having an intro 5 turns is dangerous because then you can get fully built and intro turns, and the damage on those would be fucking nuts. You'd probably get like, if you could use the active at the same time, probably like fucking well over 150 million APT for a turn like that. Like, it'd be fucking crazy. Very high damage, but I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he needed many changes. Like, I do wish the Trunks and Goten banning it that came along with him, I wish they were there because they link well with him as well. If they had like guard or they rainbow orb changed and like, got decent defense, they would be such a solid run. It's so annoying.
You don't want to get me rambling on banner units nowadays, man. Oh my fucking god, they're terrible.
It's kind of like fucking 50-50s whether they're good or not. I don't know why. But...
Okay. Let's see. Did I ask? I might have already asked that question. I don't know yet. Okay. So, who or what made you get into the Dokkan community, and then obviously the Twitter community as well?
So I started in a Dragon Ball FighterZ Discord, and that had a Dokkan channel. I still talk to a few people from that era, I think, but and then I think we just like, we were looking at some of the tweets and we saying, "Oh, this is stupid. This is not fair. Like, someone should go argue about it," or something like that. And I just went and made a Twitter account. I was like, started talking to people about it. I think Fad might have. I think she might have gotten like she took a liking to me somehow, and then from there, I think that's just kind of it. I just kind of got big off that, and then that's how I got popular, I think.
The rest is history, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of figured you were because I see it a lot on Twitter. But you're a Hybrids fan, right? Like, that's one of your favorite teams in the game, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay, so what made you a Hybrids fan? Is it just, you know, every Hybrids fan from Dragon Ball Z was one of the coolest to you, or
I mean,
is
yeah,
it
Gohan's my favorite character.
okay?
Also, Tekkan in general basically cemented me as like a hybrid fan, because I remember back in the day, I used to struggle with like the legendary Dokkan and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and you know, I thought the solution was always, oh yeah, if one unit ever greatly stacks defense, then they'll be the greatest in the game, so like, and then Gohan came along and he guarded as well, and it was fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah, he's still
was,
good. It's so
he was,
crazy.
to this day, there's no unit that's flabbergasted me more than Gohan. Like, on release, like reading his kit, it's like, what the fuck did they even make? Greatly
Mhm.
stacking, we've got no unit at that time ever had done anything similar to that. It was
Nope.
mad.
Yeah, that was a good good year for Dokkan. I think that was
Yeah,
definitely a
that
really
was
good year.
that was just the weirdest. Like, what were they thinking with that release? But
For Hybrids, honestly, for Hybrids, that was, if I remember correctly, that was a good year. Hybrids was reigning
Oh, yeah.
supreme for the longest time, I think. So
I think people underrated it a little bit on release because he basically only had in future Gohan.
no, they will still underrate Gohan, man. I honestly think Gohan is one of the best aging units of all time in Dokkan,
He's
for
still
sure.
a top 10 TUR, easy. I don't think there's any other, like, there's not enough TURs at the moment. Honestly, I think TURs aren't in a great spot at the moment, if I'm being honest, or Dokkan Fest TURs. I just think that, you know, the ones that come out are obviously good, but they have a lot of issues, and I think they age out quite quickly with these new bosses that are coming out. Like the Sin and Omega have, I think they've aged out quite a lot of Dokkan Fest TURs. They've really hit hard. I think Gohan, you can put him in setups now where he's starts like 200k defense pretty easy, and just, like, when you, like, people still don't get how guard works. It is very fucking strong.
Yeah, I'm a guard
you-
dick rider. I love guard.
Yep. And he stacks as well, and he stacks quick.
Mhm.
And like, tidbit of knowledge, like, for people know, a lot of people probably know this, but for these defense lowering bosses, so Sin and in Omega, the defense lower basically takes away from the SA multiplier. So say Gohan has every time he's super busy, he gets a 1.5 or 0.5, sorry. Sin and Omegas would basically lower that by 0.4, but the reason that's good for stacking units is because when you take that away, it actually lowers their defense a lot less. The units that don't stack, that is basically like 40% damage reduction to their, or 40% reduction to their defense.
Right.
It hits a lot harder because obviously when you're stacking, the numbers are a lot bigger. So yeah, that's why stackers are really good in these events. But Gohan's got it all going on. He's like, he can easily beat these fucking events still. Like, it's not even hard for him.
Yeah, Gohan is. It still blows my mind what they do with that Gohan. I think that Bulma though was the first unit to kind of like blow my mind reading off what she was doing. That unit is ridiculous.
It was, I don't know. I always expected Bulma to be really high util.
Yeah, me too.
They just gave her. I think the weirdest part was the super effective for all allies on her active, because no one really knew what that meant when it came out. It was kind of a little bit iffy. And no, I remember like not believing, like, they wouldn't do that. That makes no sense to give super effective to allies. They've never done that before.
Yeah.
And then it did. Like, it was like a 17% buff and super effective. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, she's so good, man.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. She's arguably was one easy. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think Piccolo's giant form being on command is the strongest ability in the game. Easy.
I agree too.
Like, nothing's close to it.
It's
too buff.
Reading out Super Saiyan 4 Goku's details and stuff like that. Originally, just like reading them out, I was like, dude, this unit is crazy. Like him having the 40% damage reduction, and then when he transforms into full power, Super Saiyan 4, he has like 50% damage reduction, and then also like he's what is his super attack multiplier? His defensive multiplier on super attack, is it 30 or 50%? Because
it's 30%. Oh no, it's 40%. 40%.
Okay, 40%.
3 times. Yeah.
So there's that, and then also he guards for the first turn. I was reading that and I was like, oh, dude, this unit is so good. And I had him at number 1 originally, but then I was like, no, I see the situations in which this Goku can be. pretty.
I have him at
tough.
4, I think. I have him at, like, around that area. He's
I have him.
he's kind of getting a little bit underrated, I think, at the moment. Actually.
Yeah, I
Weirdly.
agree. I have him at 3. I think he's on par with Bulma, GT Duo, and then you know him, obviously, right? And then Piccolo would be 4 for me. I can't drop him any lower than that. Okay.
I'm kind of. I'm struggling to not put Piccolo and Bulma in their own tiers, to be honest. I think they're both too good at the moment. They're too strong. Ridiculous.
Piccolo is mind blowing, man. I love that unit, bro. Okay. So we have some community questions. This comes from like a lot of people on Twitter. I'm going to say the people who are pretty commonly known in the Dokkan Twitter space, but anybody else, I'm just going to I'm not gonna say their name, but the Truth DT, he asks you, how would you design a 9th anniversary LR Beast Gohan?
I remember I said I was going to get something up for this. I was going to get a Word doc. I think, how would I design him? I'm not going to give like a full passive, but obviously strong stats first off. I would probably make him a slot 1. I think that for a lot of their teams at the moment, like kind of a similar archetype to maybe like full power Super Saiyan 4, but obviously just stronger in general because it just do standalone. I think making him like a high util unit as well. Like if they made an intro, Turles' intro, how he gives all allies like free key and 18% attack for the rest of the battle when there's a Goku. I think giving him something like that, like giving most of these Dokkan or just any characters high utility is the way to make the game more fun at the moment.
Dude, finally, yes. Thank you. Okay, sorry for interrupting.
I just think that we need to start making it so these teams like flow easier. To be honest, I think all the strongest units in the game have high util at the moment. Like the GT Duo have their insane revive and like 80% support turn. Full power Super Saiyan 4 has the Oop standby, which is fucking mad.
Yeah, I think that Oop standby is really underrated. It's so underrated to me.
That's something. Truth posts like these turns where he gets 2 orbs or whatever. That's not reality most of the time, though.
Yeah,
like, most of the time you're gonna like easily breeze fire in that form. And then you've got Bulma, who's obviously high util, and Piccolo's obviously high util. Like all these fun units have something in common, and it's that they're either these like really high damaging archetypes that you put work into, but then they do really good, or they're really high util tanks. I think they're clearly designing them around that. I think Beast being a mix of both of that would probably be the most fun kind of design we can have for him. You don't want him to be a slot 2. Like I wouldn't mind him being a slot 2.
Preferably, you'd want to run him with the Ultron, right?
Yeah. I think obviously it would be a cool rotation to run anyway. But, I think there's a good chance they link well as well. Some people were saying that when Beast came out that they'd have Super Saiyan links. Like what the fuck? What are they talking about? I don't know why. Like
no, Hybrid Saiyans have always had the weirder link sets comparatively.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I think Beast might have like First Awakened, maybe. Like there's a good chance that he has that. Like he fits for a lot of links. I think maybe over in Flash or something like that. But I think he's probably going to have relatively similar links to other Gohans.
Yeah,
especially physical Ultron, because a good thing. I like a good thing they've done. Like all this whinging and moaning about Ultron, it's probably made the devs be very cautious about like future releases to do with Gohan and Beast and stuff like that. I think there's a good chance we get maybe in the future some kind of equips or some kind of new mechanic to buff older units. And I think there's a good chance we get some kind of like unique equip, like how Legends has like platinum equips, whatever they are. Like mini EDAs. There's a good chance we get something like that in the future, and I think they might give Ohan a really fucking strong one if they do something like that. You
are hitting all of my spots right now, in the most platonic way possible, bro. Listen, I have been trying to say that when we're talking about a dual like a Easy A2, right? I think we have to look at it at a smaller scale, and like equips would probably be the highest form of that, like giving them like a platinum equip, and all it is like to get the platinum equip is you get the character. You don't have to have dupes or anything like that. You just have the character. Give them a platinum equip.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're okay.
My dream at the moment would be having to like an EZA stage, but one stage, and it's like fucking Omega Shadow Dragon level difficulty stage.
Oh yeah.
But maybe you're required to use say if it's a Gohan, you'd be required to use double Gohan as a lead. And you have to make a team around him based on that. Beat the event, you get the equip. Maybe the equip gives you like one more key on orb, one more key per orb, sorry, or these like not massive buffs, not like EZA buffs, but enough to like kind of tweak a unit's passive to imagine Hunt got one that like maybe gave him one extra turn of intro and one more key per sphere or some shit. It'd be fucking crazy. Like,
yeah,
it would make it so insane.
I agree. Yeah, that's a very easy way to, because they could consistently, like if they're worried about like a character aging out right away, they could consistently update a character like that for sure.
Easy. Yeah. To be fair, I don't think they're worried about characters aging away. I think they want characters to age.
Yeah, they do. They do. But I think one of the biggest concerns for the EZA2 was like, we want to make sure that the characters don't age out like right away, etc. Right? I'm pretty sure they said that, didn't they? So if they're worried about that, then I think that's a good way to kind of counteract that. Like giving Beast Gohan, or even just like if a character is starting out weak, they should really start buffing characters more. I think they really should, like updating it and then like buffing them a little bit.
100%. The thing is, they know they get away with it now. They know they can just sell units no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, my PC just gone. They kind of know they can get away with it quite easy with these sales. They just do any old shit nowadays. They're doing so much. I actually really enjoyed the Dokkan choices they've got at the moment. All the the quirky, unique ones.
Yeah, me too. I've never had a problem with it.
But I know, like, a big point of contention with, like, it's something you hear every single time there's a big celebration is, oh yeah, we need the big money makers, like the fusions, and we don't. They know they will make money no matter what. Any big celebration, as long as it's like a relatively hype theme, it is gonna make money.
As long as there's great sales, they're going to make money no matter what. So
I've always said the biggest factors in these celebrations is how good are the sales, like the stone sales. How good are the kits? People underrate kit. Kit is very fucking important for sales. Like you can tell instantly.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. There's no way people would have summoned for LR Boma had she not been as crazy as she was.
No, exactly.
Yep. I agree.
And then I would say, the actual character matters. Like probably third least important thing is probably character.
I think they're getting away with it further and further. Like look at this year's Golden Week. Like nobody was expecting.
To be fair, I think
it's a hype celebration.
Really want that.
No, it is very hype. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like a fusion or a Super Saiyan or anything like that. It's a hype moment in Dragon Ball. I think they just gotta kind of. I don't know if I don't know if I'd want like a Krillin and a Dokkan Fest LR Krillin for a celebration or anything like that, right? But I think these hyper moments in Dragon Ball that have a lot of that are very underrepresented, like LR Demon King Piccolo versus Kid Goku, like an LR of those two. Are you kidding me? You're telling me those guys would not hit sales at all for like a worldwide download celebration? You're nuts.
OG Dragon Ball is a bit of a hard topic to talk about because a lot of the community probably hasn't watched OG Dragon Ball. That's just how it is. Like a lot of Dragon Ball fans haven't watched it. A lot of the Western fans, like I'm sure it'd do great on JP, but I know for a fact Kid Goku Dokkan Fest on Global, despite its placement, it probably that didn't help because it was in like an odd place in the year before Worldwide Down Aspiration, I think. But his sales are dog shit. I remember, I think he was one of the worst performing Dokkan Fests maybe ever on Global. He did pretty bad to say the least. But I think the Western fan base just doesn't give a shit about OG Dragon Ball. If there's kits, if there's users that have good kits, people will summon. That's just how it is.
For sure.
But
I honestly, so go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was finished basically. Yeah.
Okay. I think Goku's honestly aged out a little bit, but let me not talk too hard.
23rd World Tournament. Goku? Are you talking about?
No. Kid Goku. Kid Goku.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. I meant the. No, I didn't mean that in Kid Goku. I meant the original in Kid Goku. Sorry, the
Oh, okay, yeah.
the one versus DKB. I think. Yeah, I do think. What do people call him? Path Ku, because he's from Path to Power. I wouldn't say he's aged out, but I would say he's shit in Omega. I don't think he's good.
Yeah, no. In Omega, I think he's pretty fart juice. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. The thing with those kind of units is people are going to just never let go of him because people really like him. But I do think
good, just not
good.
A lot of it.
I've always thought he was overrated, if I'm being honest. I always thought his teams were a little bit kind of annoying to use.
Yeah.
He's definitely a really good unit. I just think people overrate him a little bit too much. He's not like.
I think his support is a little bit too. I think if his support was just like, it wasn't restricted, I think I like him a little bit more.
Yeah, if he gave like a little bit less support, but maybe did it for like all allies, he would be. I think the main issue is just AOE's. Like STR Omega's AOE's to Goku is going to do 900k damage.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to tank those easy AOE's as well as I'd like.
Almost no physical unit can. I don't think any physical unit, unless they've got some kind of like Gohan has his intro, and I think. But post Super Omega, no physical unit in the game tanks that. Like you're just not tanking.
Oh yeah, no, dude, Jesus Christ, the damage output that guy is able to. Oh my god, that's nuts.
It's mad.
Okay, so we have one from another Twitter user. He says he's probably tired of all the physical Ultimate Gohan questions, but I generally want to know what teams does he run Gohan with?
I think I saw that one as well. Actually, yeah, I run him on a couple of different teams. I basically run him when I can, basically. Like any team I can run him on, I try and like kind of play around it. I just enjoy using them. But I think the strongest teams I would give is probably Earthbred Fighters is the strongest team by far at the moment. You've got, like I said before, Kai Goku is going to be his best in terms of damage. Full Power Super Saiyan 4 is still very good in terms of damage. But you also get a lot better ki, and you get defense support later on as well.
Oh yeah.
I would say Earthbred Fighters team with, Full Power Super Saiyan 4 as a slot 1, Gohan as a slot 2, both the 23rd World Tournament Goku's float. I just don't think they're consistent. They're not consistent enough to run on rotation as slot 1s early on. They're not. Like high chance to guard, you can easily die off missing those. And floating them also gives Gohan in fighter as well, 100% of the time. Or 66% of the time, because you might not run like Yaj or something like that. Running my junior on that team as a floater is actually really good. Future Dokkan, I don't know if you know him, but he
oh yeah, no, we follow each other.
Yeah, he does really good videos showing Gohan in these events. I think he said that he's kind of gone off using my junior in that team because I think Full Power Super Saiyan 4 kind of does the job anyway, because obviously in units for the tech phase of Omega. But any kind of setup where Gohan's got like decent amount of support, he's got his links up, he's got so many options now. You can run him in so many fucking places. Like people overrate how hard it is to get these orbs specifically for Gohan.
I think I agree, especially nowadays where we have like crazy good rainbow orb changers like Bulma and stuff like that. Yeah. I agree. Gohan's ki is not really much of a problem anymore.
I would say what other teams you got? Bomad is good. You got Kid Gohan's lead. Although I've used Kid Gohan a little bit today. I wasn't impressed, if I'm being honest. I really did think he struggled in Sin quite a lot.
Kid Gohan? I need to test that out before I form my own opinion, but yeah.
He was dying to supers quite a lot early. I don't know why. I think he needs to get hit quite a lot to probably be able to tank. But,
yeah.
No, but that team's good. It is a good team no matter what. What other teams you got? Obviously, Superheroes is one of his best teams. Against Sin, it is the de facto best team. I don't think there's any argument for any other team. You literally have like a well above 90% win rate on double Piccolo Superheroes. You can't lose with double Giant. It's fucking unfair. It's not so good against Omega. I still think it can work. but it has its issues because Piccolo can't slot one later on. He's not good against in Omega. That's a big downside of Piccolo at the moment. You kind of have to float him off, but you can still tank normals.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go on Dokkan and I will find out what teams I've got.
All right. So where did we leave off? Sorry about that.
I think I started rambling on a little bit about teams you could use Gohan on, but I basically finished with that anyway.
Okay, cool. All right, so we have one more Dokkan. We have one more question, and this comes from Future Dokkan. What prompts you to argue so intensely with people, and why put so much time into it?
It's my personality. That's basically it.
Personality.
I think, yeah, I've got a very argumentative personality. I'm in a couple other communities about like arguing stuff, but just like different topics in general. But I think I don't know. I'm kind of I just enjoy doing it. That's basically it. You know, I'm not afraid of people to dislike me. You know, like I think that's a big reason. Like I think what Future does is he has a bit of a softer approach, and that probably works better, to be honest. But I'm fine with going head on to these kind of things, and just I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy arguing about stats and stuff like that. Like a big thing I do is I learn a lot from doing this stuff, and in other areas I do it as well. I think it's important to try and challenge yourself into these situations, and usually you end up learning quite a lot from doing it as well. So.
Oh, yeah. If you're not learning something from the other person, you're definitely learning something about yourself when you open yourself up to debates and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
very agreeable. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was the last question we had. Do you want to end this off with anything else? Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I'm a little bit quiet because it's quite late for me, but that's about it.
Okay.
I hope people can understand what I'm saying. I don't I don't know if I have anything else to say. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for all the people that are like.
Okay.
No, I got something else to say, bro. Just end it there.
No, finish what you were saying. No, finish what you were saying.
I was gonna say, thank you for the people that are just like fucking hold the community together. I think any person who makes content in this community, from YouTubers to people who do the wikis, or even calcs and stuff like that, like you're doing the community a great service. It's it would be 10 times shitter without people like that kind of hold like, the pillars. Like YouTubers are obviously great, but I think just behind the scenes as well. Like I know Harry Turney does like an entire wiki that people decide to use as well. I know is quite good. Has loads of boss stats for that. Like, just appreciate the people that do that kind of stuff, because I think a lot of people kind of get under the radar. Like they kind of just don't really get much recognition or thanks or anything like that. Anybody who does that stuff, keep doing it. You're doing a great service. That's about it.
Very good message.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it was very fun. I got to. I didn't know a lot. I didn't know too much about you until I'd say like Worldwide Download Celebration of last year. So it's nice to.
Oh,
it's nice
you know about me that long as well.
Yeah, no. I've know you were kind of a meme, and it was from that The Truth video, but it was never from. I didn't see many of your tweets, so I'm happy I finally get to. First off, thank you for being here. I never thought I'd reach the point where I have AlanDokkan in a Discord with me. But...
Oh, okay. Actually, I've just thought of something. People keep on like bigging me up to be someone I'm not. I don't know why like so many people think I'm this big fucking guy. It's literally just like I don't know. I don't know why Truth even made the video on me in general in the first place. I think it's just like I don't know. He just decided to do it one day. But I think people kind of I don't know. People kind of like overblow me as some like kind of oh my god, you're AlanDokkan. Is that the real AlanDokkan? Bro, I don't know how to react when people do that to me. It's like, yeah, I guess.
to me, it's not even about like the notoriety or anything like that. It's just, you know, you're a part of the community. You're just as passionate, and I've always struggled trying to get my foothold in on the community. So I'm happy that the community is kind of looking at me in a way, right? I'm happy that that's a thing, and you know, you being here means a lot because it kind of solidifies the fact that, yeah, of course, the fact that the community is kind of, you know, puts more eyes on me, and that feels good for a community that I'm super passionate about and I love. And I thank you for all your work in the Twitter space and just being a Dokkan player in general. It's
always in the trenches, bro. That won't work. That was a war and all that shit. It was. I don't know. I don't know what to say about all that stuff.
It's okay.
I just want people to know that I don't hold grudges. I don't care. I don't take it that seriously. I don't actually care about this shit. It's just something I do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the biggest thing is just to treat people like human beings. You know, be nice. Like, one thing I will say that, like, I don't want to blow my own trumpet here, but I do try and interact with the smaller page. I don't care about follower count. Like, if you've got good discussion, you know, interact with these smaller pages. You know, ignore the hate if it's just like haters and stuff like that. But you know, make sure to include smaller pages and create a good place, a good environment for discussion, please, because it is so tiring on Twitter at the moment. It is so boring. It's just the same fucking opinion recycled over and over again. Like, I do really wish we had a higher variance of opinions on Twitter at the moment.
I agree.
And I think everybody's capable of it. I think all the big accounts, I've spoken to most of them one-on-one. They're very nice people. There's no one that like stands out to me that is like, oh yeah, no, they're a prick in real life. Like, no, they're all good people. I just, you know, we just need to be better as a community. That's basically it. And be more inclusive.
I agree completely. Well, thank you, Alan. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully I get this interview out this week. We'll see how long it takes me to edit this shit. But this was a really good interview. I'm so happy I had this conversation with you. I feel like I get me and you kind of agree on a lot of things. I think
I think most people do. I think most people just kind of, most people when they talk to me find that they actually do agree with a lot of what I say. I think it's just there's a negative stigma around my name at the moment. It's just kind of fucking annoying to be honest. It's kind of annoying to deal with at this point. I've had to deal with it for ages, but
I hope I just hope that your opinion, you know, or your mindset kind of on things. I guess that's what this whole thing was about. I just wanted to get your mindset more clear, in a less, you know, chaotic environment, because Twitter frankly will fuck you up mentally. But I hope this was good for you. I hope you got everything you thought out. Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, of course. You have yourself a good rest of your night.
Yep, you too.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.